They wanted your reaction. Instead, you gave them silence. They wanted you to break. Instead, you became unshakable. They wanted you to beg for respect. Instead, you stopped asking, "Master your mind, or it will master you." You are about to discover something that most men never realize, something that changes everything about how you see disrespect, rejection, and the people who tried to diminish you. Because the moment you understand this, the game changes. Not because they finally respect you, but because you no longer need them to. If this speaks to you, comment, "I am building in silence." Not because a comment changes your life, but because public commitment rewires your brain. It tells your nervous system that you are serious about this transformation. Rule 1, stop begging for respect and start collecting power. Here is what most men do wrong. They believe respect is something you earn by proving yourself, so they explain. They overfunction. They bend over backward trying to convince people to see their worth, and every time they do, they lose more of it. This is backwards. Respect is not negotiated, it is observed. It is taken from people who embody it, not from people who are desperate to be validated by it. Think about the last time someone disrespected you. Maybe a boss took credit for your work. Maybe a partner made you feel small in front of others. Maybe a friend dismissed something you cared about. What did you do? Did you immediately try to fix it? Did you explain yourself? Did you try to prove that their judgment was wrong? And did it work? No. Because the moment you chase respect, you prove that you do not already have it, and people sense desperation. It is like blood in the water. Once they know you need their approval, they own you. Seneca learned this in exile. When he was stripped of everything, cast out by the emperor himself, he made a decision. He stopped trying to convince Nero that he was valuable. He stopped writing letters of appeasement. He stopped begging to be restored. Instead, he studied. He wrote philosophy. He built his mind. And in doing that, he became more powerful than the man who exiled him. That is the shift. The moment you stop asking for permission to be respected, you start becoming the kind of man who does not need to ask. Your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your words change, and people feel it. They sense that something inside you shifted, that you are no longer available for their games, that your approval of yourself is enough. This does not mean you become arrogant. This does not mean you become cold. It means you become indifferent to their opinion while remaining excellent in your actions. That is the real power. Pause and reflect. Where are you still begging for respect instead of building it? Comment, "I am building in silence," if you are ready to stop chasing and start becoming. Rule 2, they ignore you. You build empires. Here is what happens when you stop needing their validation. While they are waiting for you to react, you are studying. While they are hoping you collapse, you are training. While they are telling others you are finished, you are building something they cannot see. This is where the real revenge lives. Not in proving them wrong, not in returning their disrespect with better disrespect, not in getting them back somehow. The real revenge is the fact that you moved on and they did not. Think about it. They invested emotional energy in trying to diminish you. They spent time plotting against you, spreading rumors, or making you feel small. And what did they get? A moment of satisfaction, a brief sense of superiority. Then they moved on to the next target. But you transformed that disrespect into fuel. Every insult became a reminder of why you need to be stronger. Every rejection became proof that you were not meant for mediocrity. Every moment they tried to keep you small became the exact moment you decided to become unstoppable. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that cuts deep. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. That is exactly what this is. You refuse to mirror their behavior. You refuse to become bitter. You refuse to spend your life thinking about what they did. Instead, you become something they could never be. Not because you are proving anything, because it is what you actually want. The brain is fascinating here. When someone disrespects you, your amygdala fires up. Your cortisol spikes. Your body is flooded with stress hormones. Your primitive brain wants to fight, flee, or freeze. But your prefrontal cortex, your higher mind, has another option. It can decide right now, I will use this. I will let this fuel my discipline. I will become the version of myself that makes their disrespect look small. That choice rewires your brain. Every time you choose discipline over reaction, you strengthen neural pathways associated with self-control. Every time you choose to build instead of destroy, you reinforce the circuits associated with resilience. Over months, over years, you become neurologically different. You are literally building a different brain. And the people who disrespected you, they are still the same. Pause and reflect. While they judged you, what could you have been building? Rule 3. Your brain links social rejection to physical pain. This is where it gets scientific. And once you understand this, everything changes. Your brain does not differentiate between physical pain and social pain. When someone disrespects you, when you are rejected, when you feel excluded, your brain processes it almost identically to physical injury. The same regions activate. The same inflammatory cytokines are released. Your body literally treats social rejection like a wound. This is important because it explains why you react the way you do. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you might feel annoyed. But when someone disrespects you socially, you feel devastated. Why? Because evolutionarily, social rejection meant death. If you were cast out from the tribe, you did not survive. Your brain has not updated that software yet. It still treats social pain like a mortal threat. So when someone disrespects you, your brain screams, fix this, prove yourself, make them understand, restore your status, now. And most men obey that signal. They ruminate. They replay the moment in their head 100 times. They construct elaborate explanations in their mind of what they should have said. They text and retract. They explain and then over-explain. They try to repair what they perceive as a social wound. But here is what they do not realize. Every time they ruminate, they are reinforcing the neural pathway. They are carving that pattern deeper into their brain. They are making themselves more vulnerable to the same response the next time it happens. This is the trap, but there is a way out. And it is not what you think. It is not forcing yourself not to care. It is not suppressing the emotion. It is not even cognitive reappraisal, though that helps. It is choosing a different action despite the impulse. When the impulse rises to explain, you stay silent. When the impulse rises to fight, you walk away. When the impulse rises to prove yourself, you redirect that energy to work, to study, to something that matters. Every single time you do this, you are creating a new neural pathway. You are literally rewiring your brain to respond differently. The old pathway does not disappear, but the new one becomes stronger. With enough repetition, with enough discipline, the new response becomes automatic. Your brain stops screaming at you to fix the social wound, because you have proven to it through action that social rejection is not a mortal threat, that you can survive it, that you can even thrive because of it. Pause and reflect. How many times have you ruminated on disrespect making the pain worse? Comment, I am building in silence if you are ready to rewire your response. Rule 4. Strategic silence multiplies your power. This is where men usually get it wrong. They think power is being loud, power is being aggressive, power is saying the perfect thing at the perfect moment. But that is the opposite of how real power works. Real power is quiet. Think about the most powerful people you know, the ones who actually command respect. Do they talk constantly? Do they explain themselves? Do they defend every accusation? No, they are measured. They speak with intention. They let their presence do the talking. This is strategic silence, and it is not weakness. It is the opposite. When someone disrespects you and you do not react immediately, something happens. They do not get the reward they were seeking. Your emotional response, your panic, your rush to defend yourself, they do not get it, so they feel the absence of it. And that absence is more powerful than any argument you could make. On a neurological level, what is happening is this. They were seeking to activate your limbic system. They were trying to trigger an emotional response, but you denied them that. And the brain, when an expected reward does not arrive, actually registers that as a form of threat. It notices. It processes the surprise. It adjusts. Over time, if the response continues to not arrive, the behavior that was seeking it stops. This is called extinction. The pattern extinguishes because it no longer produces results. But if you react even once, you reset the clock. You reward the behavior. You tell their brain, keep trying. It works, and they will keep trying. Harder, sharper, more cutting. So strategic silence is not about being passive. It is about understanding that your non-response is the most powerful response, that your refusal to play is your victory, that your indifference is what they cannot control. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he had power over his mind, not outside events. That if someone tried to provoke him, he did not have to accept the provocation. He could choose not to enter the arena. And that choice, that refusal to fight, was actually the highest expression of power. Because a man who needs to fight is weak. He needs external validation through victory. But a man who chooses not to fight because he has already won internally, that is strength. Pause and reflect. What would happen if you stopped defending yourself? Rule 5. Silent authority is embodied, not proclaimed. There is a difference between seeming powerful and being powerful. Seeming powerful is performance. It is the mask you wear. It is the words you use. It is trying to convince people through persuasion, and it is exhausting because the moment you drop the mask, the illusion collapses. Being powerful is alignment. It is internal order. It is having made decisions about who you are and what you stand for, so you do not need to convince anyone. Your presence does the work. This is what the Stoics called authority. Not authority over others, but authority over yourself. Internal governance, self-mastery. When you have that, people feel it. It is not something you can fake. Mirror neurons in their brain reflect your internal state. If you are internally stable, they sense stability. If you are internally conflicted, they sense that too. If you are desperate for approval, they sense that. If you are comfortable with yourself, they sense that. So the work is not external. It is not about learning better communication skills or winning arguments. It is about becoming the kind of man who does not need to win arguments because he is already secure in what he knows. This is why visible growth is actually a sign that you stopped growing. The moment you start talking about your transformation, you are looking outward for validation of it. But true growth is invisible. It happens in the quiet, in the study sessions no one sees, in the training no one knows about, in the decisions you make when no one is watching. The man who grows silently is stronger because he has nothing to prove. He is not building for applause, he is building for himself. And that kind of building, that kind of discipline, that kind of internal integrity is what actually commands respect. People do not respect what is proclaimed. They respect what is embodied. Pause and reflect. Are you building for others to see or building for yourself? Rule 6. The 5 habits of invisible growth. If you are going to do this, you need a protocol. Because knowing the principle is not enough. You need to know what to do every single day. How to actually rewire your response. How to actually build power in silence. Here are the 5 habits. Habit 1, the 72-hour rule. When something happens that triggers you, when someone disrespects you, or you feel the urge to respond, you implement a rule. You wait 72 hours before responding to anything important, not because you are weak, but because your amygdala is hot, your cortisol is up, your thinking is clouded. After 72 hours, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. You can actually think clearly. And from that clarity, you make better decisions. This single habit cuts emotional reactions in half. It gives your nervous system time to regulate. It gives your higher mind time to engage. And most of the time, after 72 hours, you will not even want to respond anymore. Habit 2, redirect anger into work. That adrenaline spike you get from disrespect, that emotional charge, do not waste it on reaction. Redirect it, put it into training, put it into study, put it into creation. Channel that intensity into something that builds you. This is not suppression. This is transmutation. You are not pretending the emotion does not exist. You are using it. The intensity that wanted to come out as rage becomes the intensity that builds discipline. It is alchemy. Habit 3. Disable your life notifications. Turn your phone to grayscale. Disable social media notifications. Stop watching other people's lives. Because the moment you start comparing your invisible growth to their visible facade, you lose. You will measure your progress against their highlight reel and feel behind. Stop observing. Start building. When you stop watching the noise, you can actually hear yourself think. Habit 4. Build in private. Your best work, your best growth, your best training should happen when no one is watching. The moment you need an audience, you are building for the wrong reason. Build in private. Emerge as a new version. That is when people notice, not because you announced it, but because you are different. Habit 5. Practice conscious indifference. Every day, practice being indifferent to things that normally trigger you. Someone cuts you off. You do not react. Someone makes a comment. You observe it like a scientist observes data. Someone ignores you. You continue with your day. This is not coldness. This is freedom. Each time you practice, you strengthen the neural circuits of emotional regulation. You build tolerance to social provocation. You become harder to move. Pause and reflect. Which of these habits do you need to start immediately? Comment. I am building in silence to commit to these practices. Rule 7. When they notice your growth, you've already moved. This is the final piece, and it is where the transformation becomes obvious. There will come a moment when the people who disrespected you will start to notice something different about you. Your energy will be different. Your presence will be different. You will not be available for their games anymore. You will not chase their approval. You will not defend yourself constantly. And they will feel the shift. Some will try to pull you back in. Some will suddenly become kinder, hoping to restore the old dynamic. Some will spread rumors about why you changed. Some will simply disappear because you are no longer serving their needs. But here is what matters. When they notice, you have already completed your transformation. They are seeing the past version of you. The new version is already 3 moves ahead. This is why invisible growth is so powerful, because by the time the world catches up to your progress, you have already evolved into something new. You are not waiting for their approval before you move forward. You are not seeking their validation to confirm your growth. You are already where they will be trying to reach for months or years. The best revenge is not being like your enemy. It is becoming so evolved, so disciplined, so internally powerful that they become irrelevant, not because you hated them, but because you transcended them. And when that happens, indifference is not an act anymore. It is truth. You do not need to pretend not to care. You actually do not care. And that is the deepest power of all. Pause and reflect. Who are you becoming that you did not think was possible? Closing. A man who understands these rules stops living for external validation. He stops begging for respect and starts building it internally. He transforms disrespect into fuel. He learns to use social rejection as information, not injury. He masters his own mind so completely that other people's opinions become noise, not truth. That is when the transformation becomes real. Not overnight, not in weeks, but in months, in years. If you apply this consistently, you become someone different. You are not the same man who feared disrespect. You are someone who transforms it. You are someone who builds in silence. You are someone who embodies power so completely that you do not need to announce it. And the people who tried to break you, they will either respect the man you became or they will become irrelevant. Either way, you win, because the game was never about them. It was always about you. Comment "I am building in silence" if you are ready for this transformation, not in 30 days, in 90 days, in a year, in whatever time it takes for you to become unshakable. Like this video if it spoke to you. Share it with a man who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more applied stoicism, neuroscience, and the real transformation that most people will never experience. Master your mind, or it will master you. This is the Stoic equilibrium. Reason as a way of life, virtue as strength, discipline as the path.